Hi, so today we will discuss something very important like how we are going to handle if our data does not match the schema we provided while reading the data in PySpark. So, like, suppose there may be a case when your record or your row does not have same number of column as you provided in the schema, or the data type of the column or the data type of the column doesn't match the data type you provided in the schema. So those kind of situation we have to handle this kind of situation like while reading we can provide the mode, so that we will check how we will provide the mode. So mode can be like your fail fast mode, your permissive mode, or your drop malformed mode. Okay, so what these mode do? So if you provide mode like permissive, so what permissive mode do? Permissive mode allow you to parse the data even the data doesn't match your schema. But what it do, the column value that doesn't match the column in the schema, it instead of like storing the same value, it converts that value into null and keep the record with a null value. But in a drop malformed, what it do, it actually drops that particular row which doesn't match your schema. Okay, and in a fail fast mode, it throws error straight away that this particular record doesn't match the schema. So your ingestion breaks in case of a fail fast mode. Okay, so there is another thing which we need to know over here, like we have a rescued data one property and another property is called the corrupt record property. So let's first discuss about the corrupt record. So what corrupt record do, suppose you have a permissive mode and you are trying the corrupt record. So you add one column in your schema named your underscore corrupt underscore data with a string type and required and not required like type. In that case, whichever record mismatches with your schema, it gets stored into your corrupt record, corrupt data column. Okay, corrupt record column. So, what happened with the rescued data? Now, suppose if you use the option that rescued data column and you provide the column name, in that case, not every record goes to the corrupt record, only those record whose data is malformed, like your column, that row contain less column or more column than the column provided in the schema. Only in those cases that particular record will go to the corrupt record column. Otherwise, that particular row will be saved in the rescued data column. So what we do in the rescued data column, it only stores the column name that is actually not matching your schema and the file path from which you are reading that particular record. So those data will be stored in the rescued data. So now what will happen when the case is like your drop malformed? In case of a drop malformed, it only drops those record whose column doesn't match with the number of column doesn't match with the schema, or those rows are only dropped. Otherwise, if there is like say type mismatch, column type, that is the data type you are reading and data type provided in the schema doesn't match, in that case that particular record will be rescued in the rescued data record column. Okay, so it doesn't drop. And in case of fail fast mode, it doesn't throw error which it was throwing error previously when we are not using rescued data column and we were reading the record which is not matching the schema. Fail fast was like throwing error instantly, but now it will throw error only in the case when the number of column is less or more as compared to the schema or any other kind of malformed record case. But suppose if there is only data type mismatch, then it is not going to throw error. It will rescue that particular record in the rescued data column. Okay, so let's discuss these things practically. Let's take some example how we are going to handle this. So let me first show you which data I am going to check over here. So this is like one data. Okay, so we will write the schema for this, and you can see like first let me write the schema for this and read it. Then we will check how this particular thing is going to throw error in case of like mismatching the schema. So first let me take this. Okay, let me write the schema for this. So first let us import few libraries which are very important. Say PySpark dot SQL. We import our functions. Okay, that is important. Functions as say f, and we want our types say as t. And okay, so I think this both will work. So okay, let me correct the spelling first. Okay, so now let's create one schema. So what is a schema over here? A schema say it is t dot say struct type, and we have array over here which contain fields. So we have say struct field. Okay, and this struct field say first one is id, and I am going to use the type as long type, that is big integer type. So let's say it is long type. Okay, then next one say it is t dot struct field, and we have say, let me first check the thing we required. We required name, age, salary, department. So first we go with name, and say it is a string type. Then we have say age, and age will be say integer type. Then we have salary, say it is integer type. Department, say it is integer type. Let me check further. I think it is joining date only. So we have joining date is active, rating and projects. So let's say it is joining date, which is our date type, is active, which is boolean type, rating is double type, and let me say it is bonus percent is the last column, so that is the double type. Now if we want to handle the corrupt record, then we will provide one more column, say corrupt records. Okay, in that case we will say like our corrupt record over here, we will first check our corrupt record, and then next we will check the rescued data. So first let's run this. This will be our schema for now, and let's do one thing. Let's read the data. So let's say it is df underscore 1 equals to spark dot read dot format. Let's say it is CSV because we are reading the CSV over here. And then we have say option. We are using header equals to true. And then we will be using like say schema, and we will pass our schema over here. Then we will load our file, and let's say let's copy the file path from here and use it directly. So here we loaded the data. Okay, so let me check what's issue. Okay, yeah, read dot format. Let's load it. So it is loaded. See, we didn't provided mode yet. Okay, that is whether it is permissive, fail fast, or drop malformed. By default, it is permissive only. Okay, so for now, what we are doing, we are checking with the permissive mode. So let's display this first and check what we got. Okay, great. We got the data. So we directly go to the corrupt record. We want to check what all data is corrupt. Okay. So here you can see over here we have a corrupt record. Okay. So whatever record is not matching your schema directly goes to the corrupt record. We are still not using rescued data. So everything, even it is like less column, more column, data type mismatch, or whatever kind of mismatch is there, schema mismatch is there, that particular entire row will be stored in the corrupt record for now. Okay, so let us see why this particular record. As you can see that we have third column as the age column. Okay, and in this you can see the age written as unknown, but in our schema it is integer type, not a string type. So that's why you can see like this particular age column is stored as a null value. Why? Because we are using permissive. We are not dropping the record over here, neither we are raising the exception. So we are still storing it as a null value and the record as a corrupt record. So you can see over here we have other ID as x5. That's why this is like not matching the schema. Okay, so like age is 65 over here. So we have these kind of thing which is like failing the schema and hence is stored as a corrupt record over here. So let us check the same thing if we want to use some other mode like our uh, fail fast mode or drop malformed. Then let's see. So let's store this as a df underscore 2 and let's provide one option over here. And in the option, we will be using mode over here and the mode say default was the permissive, but let's say we go with drop malformed over here. So let me run this one and we will then display the df2 over here. Okay, so here you can see that it dropped all the malformed records. Okay, so you can see like corrupt record is null. Why? Because any of the record which passed our schema is stored here. Rest all records are dropped because we use the mode drop malformed. Okay, now let's see with our third mode, that is the fail fast mode. In a fail fast, we will write over here, say it is fail fast. I think it is capital one. Small. Let me check with this. Okay. So here you can see this error while reading the file, and this error is because of the our schema mismatch. So it directly throw the error. Okay, that your reading record doesn't match the schema. Okay. Okay, so this is like we are doing with the corrupt record. Now we don't want these records or this fail fast or permissive or drop malformed to react immediately even if there is a data type mismatch. Okay, we want to handle those things. We only want to drop the record or throw the error when there is change in the number of column. Okay, if there is something like data type mismatch, we are going to handle it with the rescued data. So let's see how we are going to do this with the rescued data. So let me again copy the same and let's keep it as 1 and let's provide an option over here, and in the option we will be using okay, option, let me, we will be using our rescued data column. So rescued data column. So let me check once again on the documentation. Let us say we can check it over here. So that property is like we have rescued data column as rescued data. So this option we can check over here. So we can paste this option over here. So we are using this particular column as a rescued data column. Okay, and those records whose type doesn't mismatch, only there is a type issue kind of thing. In that case, instead of dropping the record, just rescued that data. Okay, and if there is like a column number mismatch, then we can drop it directly. So this is what we are saying over here. So let us read this underscore res queued. So this is like data frame in which we are rescuing data. So let's display this one. Okay. So now you can see we have two different column over here, corrupt record and rescued data. Okay, so only those record will be dropped which cannot be rescued. So as you can see over here, what is the format of this? Format is like we have a column name which it actually rescued, which it found like not matching your schema, because is active is a kind of a boolean field and we provided a string yes. So this is kind of like mismatching with your schema, so it rescued it here. So it is providing like your column name and value and this column name and value, so which is not matching your schema, it is rescuing it, and along with that the file path from which it is reading the data. Now in previous case, when we were not using the rescued data, in that case this row would be dropped. Okay, why? Because we are not rescuing the data. But here we are rescuing the data. That's why it is in the rescued column. Okay. Now, that's why it is like not throwing the error. Similarly, in your fail fast mode also, the data will be rescued and it will not throw error if it is like kind of rescuing thing that is handling only the data mismatch kind of thing. So let us see with the fail fast mode how it is helping us. So let's say it is 3 underscore rescued. Say it is underscore 3 underscore rescued dot display. So here you can see previously it was thrown an error, but now it is not throwing any error. Instead, it is rescuing the data as rescued data because this could be rescued. But if there is something like column type mismatch, then it is going to throw an error. So this is how your mode helps with the rescued data. Now the final one is permissive. How it is going to help in permissive? So in permissive, neither it is dropping nor it is throwing error, it is allowing it. So how it is going to allow it? In a permissive mode, the data which is actually like column number mismatch kind of issue, those record will be stored as corrupt record. Otherwise, if there is a data type mismatch, then those record will be stored as rescued data. So it is neither going to drop record, it is not going to throw error, it is going to store the malformed record as a corrupt record, and those record which is having some data type kind of mismatch, then it is going to store it as a rescued data and it is going to preserve all your data. So let's check this with the permissive mode how we are going to do this. So we have like permissive over here, and we are going to say it is say 1, and let's read this one, and we are going to display this one. So here again we have the same thing, like we have all the records and the records rescued in the rescued data column. Okay, so this is how like we handle the schema in our while reading the CSV file. Okay, thank you.